Adam Traders. It is April 20th on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, or Tuesday. I don't even know what the dates are anymore. It's Tuesday. Barely stopped yesterday. Been watching the price action all day. So BTC gave us a pretty solid dump. Unfortunately, for a lot of us that were not prepared for it. Well, I mean, we knew about it, but we just didn't properly prepare for it. The main question that I'm getting asked right now is if this is still a buy the dip opportunity. Yes, it is. I don't think that we are. I don't think the top is in. I do not think that the macro top is in. I don't think we're about to start a bear market. I'm going to talk to you quickly about the price action. I don't want to make this too long, so I sat and I went over some stuff yesterday with one of our members, Ermos, and we're both under the impression that BTC is just going to sit here, chop around range a little bit before making a leg up. Now, is there a possibility that we can get another leg down into this daily order block? Yeah, there absolutely is, right? There's still the option of taking this liquidity, and actually getting back down into this daily order block. More likely than not, um, if BTC gets some buy pressure within the next maybe 48 hours, 24 hours, we will not see a lower low. And the reason why I state that is because the oscillators are slowly resetting. So once the oscillators reset on the higher time frame, like the 12 hour or the daily and whatnot, you don't really go back down, right? So once the tone is set for the 12 hour, it's hard to make another lower low at that point. So I'm patiently waiting for a 12-hour curl and an 18-hour curl. It's the most important time frames when you're looking at the macro structure. The daily and 2-day and 3-day will take a little bit longer to reset themselves, but the best advice I can give you is look at your higher time frame, 12 and 18. As soon as you get that cross, you could assume that we are one step closer to actually putting in a bottom. Now, can we cross up, come back for a retest and then go up, which will give us a lower low? Yeah, we could, but likely not. We could do that, but it's likely not going to happen, right? All right, so that's that from a vague perspective. If you look at let's put on the EMAs and stuff like that. If you look at BTC from a higher time frame and just look at the EMAs and the MAs and the way they're forming, it is a little bit concerning. We're starting to get curls, and we've never had this before, right? The last time we had this was over here, which took us about a month. I don't know how long this was, man, a week. The range was a month, but the bottom was a week, until we found support, and then we bounced back up above the 99, and we went up, right? I think no, not the 99. Is it the 99 or is it the 55? I'm sorry, that's the 55, and yeah, the blues are 55. So I'm not saying that we're out of the woods yet. I'm not saying to start aping into alts and whatnot. I personally bought the dip. I invested all my fiat. I really don't have any more fiat to invest in into the market. A lot of these altcoins are finally showing some relief. They got extremely suppressed. I'll go over some altcoins afterwards, but the main focus right now is for me to explain to you guys that the pattern that we're in on BTC is not bearish. So please do not become bearish at the bottom. Okay, so maybe this is not the bottom. Maybe $55,000 is maybe even 51 is not the bottom. But more likely than not, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm, I'm sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call. So, yeah. So even if this is not the bottom, and we do happen to go take out this low and retap the 99 to hit this order block, it's still an awesome RR, right? And go back up to continue the uptrend. More likely than not, if you take a little bit of if you want to put a little bit of a visual of the breakdown, so that's your breakdown, that's your deviation, right? You deviated the top, the all-time highs, and you came back down. Take your fib levels, and right there we hit the 618, right? So you hit the golden pocket. Is at the bottom, good chance, I'm not saying it is, but there's a good chance that bottom will hold, and whatnot. But the way I'm playing it is that the bottom is in. And I'm hoping that the bottom is in. If you look at it from a structural perspective when it comes to the trend lines, yeah, we broke the trend line, which means that we're going to go back up and retest it, and we're going to actually die. So let's take off these EMAs real quick, and let's put a trend line across the whole board. Boom, there you go. There's your trend line. So we broke under the trend line, we retested it, and now we're dying, right? Logically speaking. But the idea that it's taken us so long to die and to roll over is making me think that we're actually building a solid support here. So if you look at the higher time frame, it'll end up being, where is that? I think it was a 18. Hold on, right here. It'll end up being that this ends up becoming a massive order block. If this ends up becoming a higher high, let's get rid of the trend line. Right, I'm just assuming right now. So for example, if we do happen to get a massive green dildo up, this officially becomes an order block, and then any dips into this area will be buying a dip opportunity. So maybe go up here to 60,000 or 59,000 dollars, which is a very valid area to exit some of the positions that you open at the bottom over here. Relong, hoping that this is going to be your higher low. At that point, take your Fibonacci level, assuming that 59 will reject us, and buy the $54,000 dip. Because this is a logical setup, right? And if you look at it from a micro perspective, all you have to do is assume that this is your higher low, and then if this is your higher low, assume that this is going to be it's going to be a swing point top bottom to the top. 618 is $60,000, right? And there's a perfect order block here, which is a 3-hour order block, and that will give you roughly about percentage of, give or take, 13% from the bottom if you're in it long. Another visual for you to see is that you have your high low, right, which is your Monday range, Monday low, Monday weekly open, Monday high, Monday low. And at that point, you tell yourself that, did we sweep Monday low? Yes, we did. And that will give you the confirmation that if we do happen to get above the weekly open, which is the gold zone, at that point you go, this is what you're expecting, and then you go back up and you target your weekly, your Monday high, right? So there's more evidence than not that this is a decent bottom, right? I'm currently in a long right now at this time. One second, guys, give me a second. I'm sorry. So more likely than not, sorry about that, guys. More likely than not, in my eyes, this is a local bottom. I am in a long. I'm in a long from down here. Where is it? I opened up a long all the way at $51,000. I'll explain to you why afterwards. And then I opened up another long over here. Break even at the time right now, and I'm targeting bare minimum Monday high. And the reason why I'm targeting Monday high bare minimum is because of the fact that it wouldn't make sense that you sweep Monday low like this. And right, you set Monday low and you do not go sweep Monday high. So Monday high has a lot of liquidity right here. Right, so this is the play that I'm playing right now. Now if we do happen to lose this order block right here, then we could assume that we're going to retest Monday low again. So you have your 3 bottom pattern, and then if we lose this order block, which we're tapping right now, something along the lines of this, and then you go up to Monday high. In my eyes, Monday high has to hit no matter what happens. All right, so that's how I'm playing it. The first area of concern once we break out of this range, is going to be the $59,000 range, which is, let me open up my VWAP. Let me go to my 2 right here. So once we break out of this, you want to tell yourself that I will de-risk some of my longs at this level and at this level. Very important levels. You have $61,000 and you have $60,500. These 2 levels are very important. More likely than not, we will reject here and then come back down and probably retest a breakout. So assuming something along the lines of, if we do happen to get above here, hit this, come back down, hit this, then come back down, right? So these 2 are going to offer a decent rejection. Keep that in mind. If you have the indicator, just use it. It's called PDVs and PWVs. So that's my Monday range. Higher time frame perspective, as long as the daily candles keep closing above. Yeah, I'll make a new one for you guys. Here you go. Hold on a second. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. 12 hour. So higher time frame perspective, as long as we keep closing under this right there, closing above the red line, I'm not too concerned. If we start getting candle closes within the bottom of the red line, then at that point, then we're talking about targeting something lower down here, right? And then lower down here. So as long as we keep closing above this, this is still a deviation, and this is still just a liquidity hunt, and we're going to carry on. First area of resistance will be this previous top, which is all-time high, because then this becomes a deviation. So if you want to put a range around this, because I'm a range player, I'm playing this range right here. This is basically a micro range into the macro range. This is your micro range, right? So this is your macro range right here, right? And you have your deviation. You have your deviation, you have your deviation, and now all you did was you just spiked into the previous deviation. And that's it. Now take in consideration that you have a midpoint for this range. That's your midpoint. The quicker we get above that 57.8, 57.9, the better it's going to be for us. Okay, so now what else did I want to talk to you guys about? Trend bars. I don't even want to talk to you about the trend bars because everything looks bearish. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. For example, if you're in the lower time frame and you're still getting concerned and whatnot, give me a second. I want you to tell me if this looks like it is a possible. Boom. There you go. Okay. Breakout retest, and then this should be the measured move of, let's just assume that I'm taking it from the bottom because that's the way I play. If you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. Measured move to at least $60,000, right? So this is a 101, guys, right? Doge, Deej, whatever you want to call this shitcoin, I'm still holding spot. I'm not going to get rid of it. I still think that it has the potential of hitting at least bare minimum 80 something cents. Maybe not now, but in a couple of freaking months. So I'm in from all the way to the bottom, so I really don't care. I added a bunch down here, I added a bunch over here, and I have no intentions of selling this at all until I see stuff like actually really take a shit in the space. In my eyes, this is just one big cup handle, and then we're getting ready for another move up to the top side. If this thing rolls over, by the way, if this thing rolls over, it's going to simply just come down here, right? 20 cents is going to be your support, so no matter what happens, reloading it down here and carry on. This isn't a type of shit coin that's just going to roll over and die. It's got too much hype on it, unless they rug it. If they rug it, then that's going to be a problem. I'm not even going to go over the oscillators. I'm not going to waste time with this, right? So more on BTC. Let me go to this chart over here. Okay, so Jesus. Yeah, actually, I need this, and that's it. Okay, so this was the original setup that we were working with from a couple of weeks back. You could tell that we've completely lost the monthly VWAP that I've been following because it actually has been supporting us for quite some time. We don't really deviate away from it for too long. So now that we have this big gap, I'm pretty sure we're going to go and we're going to retap it. See how every time we go around it, we go away from it, we get as close as we can back on it, either deviate above it, bounce off it, or reject off it. So more likely than not, this is going to be tapped sometime within the next 24 hours. And the monthly VWAP. So based on this structure that we're looking at right here, let me close this liquidity indicator. We are still in our previous Monday low, the one that was originally from the top all the way to the bottom. I'm pretty sure that it was March 15th, which was right here. Okay, so this was previous Monday high, previous Monday low, the main one of the main range that broke down. So we're still in it. We're above it, right? I'm not really too concerned yet. I'll start getting concerned when I start seeing high time from a candle closes back under here. Last night we had a Binance maintenance that lasted about an hour and whatnot. Price pumped Once we went live and then price died afterwards, we swept Monday low again, and then we went up from a Binance perspective. So this is a mitigation block right now that I'm currently looking at. We need to get above this. It's very important that we get above this. As you could tell, it's the last down candle before the expansion to the top side that led to the all-time highs. So this is going to act like resistance right now. You break right through it, you go back above, you deviate. Now, if you can't get above this, this ends up becoming a three-top pattern, and that's not going to be good for the bulls. That's going to end up being 1, 2, 3, leg down, right? But I'm not betting on that scenario. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is under us, the resistance that we have. We have the support that we have. I mean, the empty voids that we have, sorry. The empty voids that we have under us are as follows. Keep this in mind, guys. We had... I went long over here and I went long over here only because of the empty voids. We have another one at $48,000 and then we have another one at $44,000, guys. Keep that in mind if we do happen to go down there. All right. So 48,200 and 44,900. So if we roll over, those are your two areas of interest. Otherwise, everything looks fine, man. I'm not too concerned yet. I'm gonna start being concerned when the higher time frame oscillators are not resetting. If you want to go through the oscillators really quick. Let me save everything, guys, because when I make another video, I want everything to be right here. When you want to go, if you want to go through the oscillators real quick, put on your buy sell, close this off, look at your TMA bands. We're running the green TMA band. That's not the most bearish thing, right? There's still potential. So ideally, what you want to see now is if this is if this is really the 4-hour higher low, your first target is your 4-hour mid band, right? And then at that point, you come and you retest this. If this holds on the retest, then you could easily target the red zone at the time, wherever that red zone is. So open up your oscillators. 4-hour is giving us. This is what I'm waiting for. This type of behavior. You see how we got rejected off the trend line. We're getting rejected off the trend line here. If we could poke through this, Jesus Christ, it's going to be very bullish. If we get rejected here, we'll come back down for another leg. Unfortunately, we're going to go pretty low. On the unfortunate truth. I'm being realistic, right? I'm not here. I'm not here to get you guys to get wrecked. 12-hour, it has not curled yet, so that's a little bit of a concern, but at least it's moving up and it's green. Then we have the daily, which is at support. See, we're at the pivot. This is all pivot based. This is all pivot based, right? We're still at support, which is good. This is support, which is good. Ideally, the best case scenario will be if we do happen to dip down. Just hear me out. If we do happen to dip down, I don't want this to happen, but hear me out. If we happen to dip down to like $48,000 or $49,000, and we get a bull div on a daily time frame, where this ends up becoming a lower low, and then this ends up becoming a higher high. A higher low and curls back up, right? That'd be a beautiful scenario. Let me go to the higher time frame. Go to the weekly. Has it moved at all? See, the weekly still looks bad. I mentioned this multiple times in the previous videos that the most concerning thing about BTC to me is the weekly time frame. Close everything real quick and just look at the weekly time frame. This to me is very concerning, and the reason why it's concerning, not because we're bearish or bullish, is because when you cross on the weekly time frame on the RSX, you could literally end up doing a multi-week downtrend, right? The way we did over here. And since we didn't have any buy pressure, this broke support, and then we died. And then we went all the way up and died, right? Obviously, this was a cascade that took place, but no matter what, this would have happened. Not this $4,000 run, but it would have stopped at least at the previous pivot, somewhere around here, at that 5K. We would have definitely hit that at least from up here. So I'm trying to explain to you guys something. RSX is one of the strongest indicators that will tell you to get out of the market or stay in the market. And right now, the weekly is concerning. See how we're pointing down? That is not bullish, right? So be very careful, be very cautious. Move down to your 5-day. Still rejection going down. Go to your 3-day. It's at support, right? It's at support. So I'm not 100% worried about the 3-day yet. It still has a bullish pattern. The 2-day has a rejection, but it's still at support. We see how we can't break this pivot. It's basically just dicking around here, waiting for the lower time frames to pick up. I'm not convinced yet, man. I'm telling you, I'm not convinced. The 2-day, 3-day, 5-day all look like they have a lot more upside potential. But then when you start going to your lower time frames, you're just waiting for resets. Like look at the 8-hour. We put in a beautiful head curling. Once we cross this 8-hour, we should expect something like this, or something like this, right? Or something like this. So I'm being very cautious right now. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting to see if we can get across on one of these higher lower time frames, meaning like sub 12-hour mid time frames. If we get across in those mid time frames, it's gonna be good for us. Otherwise, guys, just be cautious and be careful. The only level that you need to be concerned about right now is that level right there. That $60,000. No, sorry, $59,000 to 60. Right there, to 61K. So 59 or whatever, 60.1 to 61.2. Ideally, it's 59, but you know what I'm saying. Be very cautious at that level because we could easily just straight up go up and then just come down and make a lower low. This is not plausible for me, right? Because if that happens, then I'm gonna be like, all right, the bull run or the bull trend is gonna be just delayed, and if that happens, it's gonna be a little concerning for me. It's valid technically, TA wise, but based on patterns, it's gonna be a little concerning, and I can't see that happening. So that being said, BTC is at a point that just time, man. Just give it time. Like we have a 3-hour over under, right? A curl that is fucking bullish. Anyone that you ask that knows about patterns is bullish. So hopefully this sees a little bit of upside right now. We get the same thing on the 4-hour. If we get it on the 4-hour, it's game over at that point. So yeah, man, I'm being patient right now. I bought the dip. I'm long. I mean, I have no complaints yet, and I'm really heavy. I'm really heavy in XRP, like fucking heavy in XRP, dude. Like really heavy in XRP. I want really heavy XRP leverage plus spot, in hopes that this is the bottom, and then if this is the bottom, easy target will be target 1. TP1, take some off here, leverage, I'm not touching my spot, and then my TP2 for my leverage. Oops. Will be up here. Basically the candle body off the top. 1.9, 1.8 to 1.9. That's it, man. You know, Ethereum to me looks like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it looks like shit, but it has a lot of making up to do. We're making higher lows, which is awesome, right? I'm not counting that way, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, I need to see what it does when we get up here at the previous breakdown. No matter what happens, this is all noise to me because this could literally just chop around here for another like maybe 24 hours, right? But the main challenge is that breakdown 23.20 on there. We get above this and we're gonna have a beautiful alt season. You know, we have another area of interest over here, the breakdown block, which could act like resistance, but more likely than not, if you get above that, it should be good for us. That's about it, guys. Everybody trade safe. Discord is still open. If you guys are interested, excuse me, sorry that I'm yawning. If you guys are interested, come on in, ask us questions. We're probably gonna start the $1 million challenge right now, only because BTC has finally made its move down. Funding has completely reset, and we're waiting for the proper setup right now. Guys, trade safe. Cheers.